You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Welcome to the program. Okay. Kayleigh McEnany has gone so far over the line, and I'm really upset with Kayleigh McEnany. And I know she's on Fox, and we've all left Fox and everything else. But Kayleigh McEnany, she has everything she has because of Donald Trump. And here she is, not only dropping Donald Trump, but she's defending Hunter Biden during this cocaine found at the White House scandal. And let me read this article that's in The Hill. I am not watching Fox News. I did not see her say this. This is an article covering what she has said, okay? Listen to this. This is in The Hill. Former White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany threw cold water on the suggestion that the cocaine found at the White House over the holiday weekend, these liberals, they can't even say 4th of July, since they took the Christmas and started calling that just the holiday. Yeah. Now all holidays are just the holidays. Unless it's Juneteenth or something, right? But if it's like an American holiday or a Christian holiday, they don't say the name of the holiday. It's the holiday. These people. Former White House press secretary Kayleigh McEnany threw cold water on the suggestion that the cocaine found at the White House over the holiday weekend could have belonged to Hunter Biden, the president's son. This is what McEnany says. For it to be Hunter Biden, he left on Friday. He was at Camp David. There is no way. It is inconceivable to think cocaine could sit for a 72-hour period at the White House. So I would rule him out at this point, McEnany, who was a Fox host, said today on the flagship morning show on Fox. I guess it was Fox and Friends. News broke earlier this week that a suspicious white powder was found, which we now know is cocaine. On Wednesday, Trump, who McEnany worked for, of course, lashed out at the media over coverage of the story and suggested the cocaine belonged to Hunter Biden, who was publicly chronicled his history of drug use. Does anyone really believe that the cocaine found in the West Wing of the White House, very close to the Oval Office, is for the use of anyone other than Hunter and Joe Biden? Trump wrote on his Truth Social website. Now, that's Trump's post on Truth. Let's get to his comment in a minute because that's pretty juicy. Okay, let me go back to McEnany first because that Trump just dropped something big there. But what McEnany is saying is, how could it possibly be? How can she even come to that conclusion without any information coming out? The original story was that the cocaine was found in the library. Now they're saying it's the West Wing.
When did they find it? What day? Sunday or
Monday? We're
Monday?
not really sure. We know that on Sunday they called the hazmat team.
Okay, so that's 48 hours, not 72.
Yeah.
So she's wrong there. And it's a holiday weekend, like they said, so everybody was gone. So I think it's very conceivable that it was left there and nobody spotted it. If it was a small dime bag, I'm not familiar with how cocaine works, but
that's a marijuana measurement, I think.
No, I think I read an article where it said like it was in a dime bag. So
I don't know.
I think small. If it was in a small little bag, I've seen movies and you always see cocaine in these little tiny little Ziploc bags, and it was in somewhere. It could very easily be overlooked, especially if people are gone for the holiday weekend and they've taken the weekend off. The first family wasn't there. So probably a majority of the staff was gone. The Secret Service was gone. It was probably like, the skeleton crew
and you know what,
was
Kathy?
There. So I think it's very conceivable.
It's also possible that it was seen much earlier than that, and everyone knew whose it was, and they didn't say or do anything.
Nobody wanted to be the one to say exactly.
And then after a while, somebody said, well, we better call someone.
Well, what you have here is very unfortunate. You have Kayleigh McEnany has sold her soul to the Fox devil. She is the lead chair on Outnumbered now. She's the lead. Is she
really?
Oh, yes. She's the lead corner chair. Since Harris Faulkner has her own show.
Really?
The Faulkner Focus. Harris Faulkner's not even outnumbered that much anymore. And I haven't watched it in like 6 weeks. But if I flip through, I don't see her on there very much. And I always see Kayleigh McEnany on that corner slot.
Wow.
But she is the anchor chair. And she's got a very, she used to intern for Hannity. So she has a long relationship before Trump came along. And she has bashed Trump in the past. Many, many times they have quotes and things of her saying things when she was commentating on CNN and all this during the election, that bashing him and all this. And he hired her, elevated her. She is where she is today because of him and all the other things she did. But that's definitely a big part of it. And I think she's more than happy now to throw him under the bus because it helps her career. I mean, look, I don't like it, but I understand when you're ambitious. She's young, and I don't know what her husband does now that he's like a retired, semi-pro baseball player, whatever. She's got a kid, and she's got to bring home the bacon, and she's going to say whatever Fox wants her to say.
Kayleigh McEnany has become an enabler for a drug addict and a criminal administration. There's no way you could come to any conclusion that it doesn't belong to Hunter Biden or anywhere else. So she's involved. Now, let me get to this next part. Now, this was Trump on Truth Social. I read this a little bit ago, but I want to go through this because this is very interesting stuff. This is what President Trump posted to Truth Social. Now, Kayleigh McEnany is totally sold out to the Biden crime family.
Absolutely.
Really, what Kayleigh McEnany has become here is she's made a transition. She's a White House press spokesperson again, not for Trump, but for Biden.
Yeah,
she's like she's doing what Jean-Pierre's been doing. She's speaking and defending these criminals, and I'm disgusted by her.
She sounds like Jean-Pierre,
but better.
They sound they're giving off the same message.
Yeah, it's outrageous. So I'm disgusted by Kayleigh McEnany, and you can let us know what you all think about what she's done here in the comments. Okay, now I want to get back to this part that I read a few minutes ago, and this is President Trump's Truth Social message. This is very important stuff, and it's in two parts. The first part is this. This is President Trump on Truth Social. Does anybody really believe that the cocaine found in the West Wing of the White House, very close to the Oval Office, is for the use of anyone other than Hunter and Joe Biden? Trump wrote on his Truth Social. Now, this is an interesting thing, Hunter and Joe Biden. And this is what people got to understand when Trump talks. When President Trump says something, this guy, he's not the host of the Celebrity Apprentice anymore. He was president of the United States. Yeah. The people around him are very well connected. He has, even though people like McEnany are betraying him, people around him are insiders. He hears things, including through maybe his Secret Service detail and others. And when he just dropped this story is for the use of anyone other than Hunter and Joe Biden, there has been speculation occasionally that maybe that's what they've been giving Joe Biden before he goes out and speaks to give him a little energy prep. I don't know, but I have heard that talked about a few times. And when President Trump all of a sudden has thrown in Joe Biden into the mix, that is very interesting, and that's not just something he dropped. He's the only person in at the national level who's connected that cocaine to Joe, not just Hunter. So I think it's interesting.
Well, she's responding directly to him. Her response is in response to Trump's truth.
That's right.
That's why she said it.
Yeah.
That's what prompted that response by her. And because she directly said any indication or inclination or thought that it belongs to Hunter Biden is ridiculous. So she is addressing Trump directly.
So what McEnany is doing is two terrible things here. One, she's White House press spokesperson again now for Biden, and she's also dropped President Trump. So then Trump goes on and says this. This is the next paragraph. But watch. The fake news media will soon start saying that the amount found was very small, and it wasn't really cocaine, but rather common ground up aspirin, and the story will vanish. There's no such thing as a small amount of cocaine. It is illegal. It is highly illegal. And to have it in a place like the White House is dangerous. See, this is what I was talking about. Their story was that the original story was the library. Now it's the West Wing. The West Wing isn't just where the offices are, not the Oval Office and all White House staff. The West Wing is where the senior White House people's offices are. The people that aren't senior people, their office is in another building next door, the old executive office building. So if it's someone that works in the West Wing, this is a senior person, and Jean-Pierre is at the lower level of that
Right.
seniority that works in those West Wing offices. If someone is there and they are in possession of cocaine, there's a few terrible possibilities. One is this new one we're getting from President Trump, that it may be for Joe and someone keeps it and then they give it to him whenever he needs it. Another one is that it's somebody who's a senior person who works there who uses it and left it somewhere. And if someone is using cocaine that works in the West Wing, a senior person, this is not just a security breach. It very well may be the largest, biggest, most dangerous security breach in the history of the United States. And what I mean is this. If it's someone that works at the senior level of the White House, which it would have to be if it's a staffer in that area, that means that they are open to blackmail from those who know that they've got this illegal habit of cocaine. And China, Putin, a foreign intelligence service could blackmail them with the threat of going public with it. And that means that they would give them, maybe like private confidential information. So if someone is working there, they're on cocaine, one of these foreign intelligence service says, if you don't give us this information, we're going to let everybody know you're on cocaine. There's no scenario that they've used in defense that is anything other than very bad and very dangerous.
Look, I think even Megyn Kelly said, we all know who's it probably is.
Yeah, exactly.
We're never going to know. But the problem is this, and whatever, Hunter's got issues. We all know that. I really don't give a damn.
I do.
But the problem is this, no, I mean, I don't care about their personal problems, but the problem is what I find is they keep asking Biden and Jean-Pierre about this, and they will not even address it. And Biden has such disdain for people. He just laughs or says it's a stupid question. It's not a stupid question. You need to explain or at least apologize. Like I said on yesterday's show, I'm so sorry. I don't know whose it is. We'll figure it out. I apologize that this happened. It should never happen. He's not even saying that. The fact that he is acting this way makes me believe it does belong to his son, because he's being very defensive and angry about it. His response to this whole thing screams enable. Yeah. That's what he does. He's an enabler. And this is how enablers act. If a woman is being beaten up by her husband, they make excuses. If a father has a son who's into drugs and he's enabling him, he makes excuses or doesn't want to talk about it. He owes the American people. But like you said the other day, we talked about Trump is now really beating Biden and in the polls. And all this stuff is going to hurt him because the American people deserve an explanation. Yeah. And anytime there's a scandal or anything, Biden will just laugh, shake his head. He'll walk out of the room. Nothing bothers me more than when a politician is being asked tough questions and they turn their back to the press and walk out of the room. Like, to me, that's a big screw you.
Oh, yeah.
And because, I don't love the press, but when things like this happen, they owe you an answer. And I think it's going to hurt him. I really do.
Their reaction shows that it most definitely is the Biden family.
It's very telling, their reaction.
Because if this was just some staffer, they would let them take the fall. But because they're in this cover-up mode and acting like it's no big deal.
That's right.
Now listen to this.
So McEnany's way off.
Oh, I'm disgusted by McEnany. I'm disgusted by her.
She's an apologist for Fox, for the left now.
Apologist for Hunter. That's really
that's exactly what she is.
Okay, so listen. This is another article. Listen to this. The investigation. This is Mark Morgan, who's a former FBI agent, and he was the border commissioner, right? The investigation in who brought cocaine into the White House, he says, should already be a closed case. With 4 days and all hands on deck,
I agree.
Morgan questioned if the White House really wanted to find who's responsible by suggesting a search could take 30 minutes if they used all the resources at the disposal. He said the White House might be putting up roadblocks as the U.S. Secret Service investigates the matter, claiming the investigation isn't complicated. He said this, an investigation like this is pretty straightforward. Everybody that enters the White House is manifested, he said. They know who comes in. They know when they came in. They're checked, and there are video cameras everywhere. White House Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates wouldn't comment today on whether the Biden administration would be transparent with the press and public if the culprit is found and identified. He said this, I'm just not going to engage on hypotheticals. There's no hypothetical. There was cocaine in the White House.
Exactly.
It's been,
Let me ask you, does Hunter live there now? Because I heard he's living there.
Pretty much.
So that means his wife and his daughter live there. So, okay. So that's his primary residence now.
Yeah. So Morgan, the former border commissioner, ex-FBI agent, he says the investigation should already be wrapped up because there is forensic evidence, controlled access, cameras, witnesses, the manifest of who actually is coming to the White House and who's going through those areas, and a limited time frame. They've got so much information, he said. He said, when I say 30 minutes, really my intent was that when it comes to serious investigators, this one's a pretty straightforward investigation. He added that in a top priority investigation, like those he conducted at the FBI, you get people, you download the tapes, you're reviewing the tapes, you're interviewing people. My question is, how much of this has been done? He said the United States Secret Service might be prevented by the White House from conducting normal procedures needed to investigate a top priority case. And a lot of that could be influenced by the White House. They probably would go to the Deputy Chief of Staff to work with the Secret Service to coordinate. So he goes on and says, my question is, the Secret Service are saying, hey, we need to interview XYZ. And are they allowed to interview those people? Are they able to go in and pull surveillance tapes as they need? Are they able to talk to the people that would normally need to talk to for this type of investigation without roadblocks? He says, I don't know. These are good questions. I don't have the answers. He said that the lockboxes, especially one bank of cubbies, aren't in areas where there's heavy foot traffic, like described by Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre said it was found in a cubby. So Morgan knows.
Cubby, what, like they have in kindergarten
I don't
class?
know. Morgan knows of these cubbies, and he says there's not a lot of heavy traffic there.
Well, Brian, if it's found in a cubby, do they have assigned cubbies? Do they know whose cubby it is? You know what I mean? Or what do they mean by a cubby? Well, let me tell you, this is the strategy of Biden and his team. They're not going to address it. They're not going to talk about it because they want it to go away. And if they ignore it, they know within a week or so, people will move on. That's the news cycle. And they'll have their week or two of talking about it. And if they don't answer questions, they ignore it, it'll go away and they won't have to deal with it anymore. And people will forget about it. That's what happens. But I think voters, especially undecided voters, all this stuff adds up in their mind and creates a feeling of major distrust with Biden. And he's so feeble and old and all this stuff. And they're just like, this is not good. I mean, I think all of that kind of compounds with people that are on the fence, or even some liberals that are more conservative on the, leaning conservative. And they just might be like, you know what, this guy is just not good for the country. Maybe they're waking up and realizing
what you have with,
but they're going to ignore this. They're going to ignore this.
What you have with the Bidens is you have a family that has spent their entire life doing crime without consequences. So they feel no need to do anything. Right. They're invincible. And they also believe what you're talking about. They believe, there'll be another news story in a couple days. It'll be another news cycle.
If we just ignore it, it'll go away.
Let me tell you, I've been talking about this. This is like my fourth broadcast on this topic. Yeah. And I'm going to keep covering this. And I didn't think this story would be going on past today. I thought they would be wrapping it up because the media yesterday with Jean-Pierre, if you look at my morning stream today, I went through the press conference with Jean-Pierre yesterday. The media really went after Jean-Pierre yesterday, and her answers were pathetic. And that means we can clear the press, okay? If someone in the press were doing this and had this, the press wouldn't be jumping on the story so hard. Okay, they'd be protecting their own, so we can probably eliminate the press corps. Probably,
maybe, but I don't know. So I think a lot of that is scripted
this was a very rough one, and her answers, she made it worse. The questions were very good on this, and the press briefing yesterday, and Jean-Pierre made it worse by lying. And Jean-Pierre wouldn't even say that if they catch the culprit that had cocaine, which is a very highly illegal drug, that they should be prosecuted. So she made things much worse by lying and covering up and deflecting.
You can tell they're covering up.
Yeah, it was a brutal press conference for her, and they've given legs to the story. Now, if you watch the mainstream media, though, this story is an afterthought. They do not have the wagon circled around the White House in crisis, and all of this. And when Trump was in, it was always White House in crisis, holding him accountable if he used a comma where it didn't belong in a sentence. And here we have a highly illegal drug found at the White House, and the media are about to let the story go.
Well, Biden is a very weak father, and his son is weak. So they're very weak men. Let's analyze how Trump handled things. I remember Don Jr. did an interview, and he was drinking a lot in college, and he did this whole thing. He said that his father, he got in trouble for drinking. His father completely cut him off from the family money, and he lived out of a van for a year, and he bartended. Did you know that? He did this in an interview. He said that he bartended. He traveled around when he was out of college for a year, bartending and living out of a van.
Wow.
Because his father completely cut him off because he got a DUI or something. He got in trouble for drinking. That is the difference between an enabler and a non-enabler, okay? An enabler is somebody who makes excuses. They enable that addiction. They give them money. They make excuses. They ignore it. Trump, who's not an enabler, takes care of business. And he tells his kid, you want to be that way? Fine, but you're not going to get any help from me. You're done. I'm cutting you off. And Don Jr. turned his life around and got his life on the right track. And he realized, well, if I want to be a part of my family and a part of the Trump organization and be a millionaire, I got to get my act together because otherwise I'm going to be living out of a van for a billionaire. Exactly. Well, I don't know if Trump Jr. is a billionaire.
Yeah, they're all billionaires.
But he realized I got to get my act together or I'm going to be bartending and living out of a van for a while and I'm going to be a loser. So I need to be a winner because his father laid down the hammer.
Yeah.
And look what he did with that Kardashian that was on his show. He found out she had a DUI and it didn't even happen while she was on the show. Khloe Kardashian. It happened before, but he found out she'd been arrested. He fired her for that. He said, I have zero respect. You know, his brother was an alcoholic and died, and that's a big thing with Trump, substance abuse. And he said, I have zero respect for anybody who gets behind the wheel and endangers the lives of others. Trump is not an enabler. That is the difference between him and Biden, who has enabled his son's addictions, his son's use of drugs and hookers and women. His father has enabled it. You got to ask yourself why. Like I said, they have a very weird codependent relationship. And maybe Biden himself is involved in things too. You never know.
Ron DeSantis just pulled something that just broke. I just got a message on my phone. Ron DeSantis has pulled something really big and really nasty.
Oh, boy. He's getting desperate.
And after the break, I want to get into this, so don't go anywhere.
This will be good.
If you were listening closely a moment ago, you heard a notification came through. I got a text about this just seconds ago, and right after the break, we're going to get into it. Ron DeSantis has really done something big and dirty against President Trump. No, I'm serious, against President Trump. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back.
Where does art meet fashion and home decor? At Comdes, on Etsy and comdes.design. At Comdes, immerse yourself in a world of unique and exquisite designs that are crafted with passion and creativity. You'll find vibrant prints to intricate patterns. Comdes has it all, and they specialize in stunning artwork that blends artistry and functionality. Elevate your style and transform your living spaces with their diverse range of meticulously designed pieces. Each item tells a story that invokes a sense of beauty and inspiration. Discover the perfect fusion of art and design right now. Visit their website, comdes.design. That's COMDES. View their art gallery. You will be impressed with their collection of canvas gallery wraps and poster art prints. You can also find Comdes on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/Comdes. That's COMDES. Etsy.com/shop/Comdes. And indulge in a haven of artistic expression. Comdes, innovative designs for the modern world. Are you on the hunt for the most comfortable, stylish, and witty t-shirts that make a statement? Look no further than WrightsWittyWears.com. With a diverse range of unique and clever messages on unisex t-shirts, Wrights Witty Wears has something for everyone. Whether you're shopping for yourself or looking for that perfect gift, you're sure to find just what you need. At Wrights Witty Wears, customer satisfaction is their top priority. That's why they're committed to providing you with an excellent shopping experience, offering a fantastic selection of t-shirts tailored to meet your needs needs and reflect your personality. Not sure what you want? No problem. Their user-friendly eShop offers multiple ways to help you find the perfect shirt that suits your style and ignites your confidence. Don't miss out. Head over to writeswittywears.com right now. Make sure to use the promo code podcast to receive an exclusive 10% discount on your purchase. Make a statement, embrace your style, and enjoy the best shopping experience at writeswittywears.com. That's writeswittywears.com. Happy shopping. Are you living the life you want to live? Unlock your true potential with the transformative power of self-hypnosis with the book from author Brad Sanford, As I Read These Words, over 300 self-hypnosis scripts to empower your world. Available on Amazon. This life-changing and groundbreaking book will guide you into a state of deep relaxation and heightened awareness. You'll learn about self-improvement, discover how to tackle negative beliefs, overcome challenges, and enhance your emotional intelligence. From self-esteem and confidence to stress relief, this book is designed to unlock your unconscious mind. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner or curious newcomer, As I Read These Words provides the keys to lasting change and a fulfilled life. As I Read These Words, over 300 self-hypnosis scripts to empower your world. From author Brad Sanford, available in Kindle and paperback on Amazon. Order your copy right now and discover the power within you.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. All right, DeSantis has really pulled something here, and this big story. I've not even shared this with Kathy during the break, okay? Boy, I'm pretty disgusted at McEnany, but I'm really disgusted at DeSantis. Okay, DeSantis, he's obviously the sitting governor of Florida, and apparently he has a lot of pull and some leadership in Florida. And the reason that is, wait till you hear this, guys. This is crazy what they're doing. You all know that the DeSantis campaign is being run by the Bush family. Jeb Bush was the governor for 8 years long ago, and he, before he was governor, was very involved in the Florida Republican Party for many, many years. So people that are in the upper levels of running the Republican Party in Florida are people from the Jeb Bush era, okay? The people that are at the top positions, people that made their way through the party with Jeb Bush and other things. So the loyalty of the Florida Republican Party leadership is with the Bush family because Jeb Bush, okay? And that this is why this thing I'm about to share with you was able to be pulled off. Listen to this. This just broke. President Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and their fellow Republican candidates vying for the White House in 2024 will have to pledge to support the eventual GOP nominee in order to get on the primary ballot in the Sunshine State, the state GOP said. Now, I'll get to this and the rest of this in a minute. So the Florida State Republican Party has passed a rule that if you are running in the Republican Party platform, you must sign a pledge to endorse whoever eventually gets the GOP nomination, or you will not be on the ballot. And they know darn well that Donald Trump is not going to do that. You know, there was just an interview the other day with Robert Kennedy Jr. where they were asking him, well, will you pledge to support the Democrat nominee? If it's not you, he wouldn't do it. Real candidates don't do that. Now, back to this. This is the article. The pledge, which is word for word the same language as the RNC pledge, was requested and passed by members to ensure maximum unity heading into the general election, says Florida GOP Chair Christian Ziegler. The days of party grifters such as Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger using Republican Party resources to secure a title and then weaponize that title against our own team must end. Contested primaries are part of the process, but we must always remember that the Democrats are the true threat to the America we love, and we must be unified to defeat every single one of them, Ziegler said. The requirement from the Florida GOP echoes the RNC committee's requirement that candidates pledge support for the eventual nominee in order to get on the party's presidential primary debate stage. Among other qualifying criteria, some Republican presidential contenders have complained about. I'm not going to go into the details of all the others because it's minutia. So Florida's Republican Party that's controlled by DeSantis and Jeb Bush, which means the Bush family, and I love how they take a jab at Liz Cheney. The Bushes are in with the Cheneys, right? So Liz Cheney...
Yeah, they try to do that for credibility.
Yeah, Liz Cheney is involved in this. Liz Cheney's dad is with the Bushes.
Yeah.
So, and I love how they throw Liz Cheney under the bus while they're really working with her.
They throw two people under the bus that aren't even in politics anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
How convenient.
And one of them, they're working with Liz Cheney because of the Bush family connection. So this is why Ron DeSantis has been walking around looking like he doesn't have very many worries in the world. There's no way that President Trump is going to sign off on this. And it's ridiculous because if he did, they would say, oh, well, he's agreed that he'll endorse Christie, he'll endorse DeSantis, whoever gets it. That's a bunch of nonsense.
Does it matter,
it's a trap.
Because he's going to win the nomination anyway. So, but it seems a little sketchy that he can change laws.
Sketchy. Well, it's not a law; it's a rule. Well,
rule to help that they're working with him. That shows you that there's people coming at Trump from all sides. All sides. Well,
what the Republican Party, led by the Bush family and DeSantis here in Florida, have done has been very sketch and very sleazy. Now, remember, it was against the law in Florida for the sitting governor to hold state office and run for federal office. They changed the law so that DeSantis could run for president and stay governor. They changed it this year. And what I find very interesting about it is there was no big story about this. I don't remember him signing this into law. They did it and they passed it in secrecy. So they changed Florida law to allow DeSantis to stay governor and run for president. Mm-hmm. And they also now are changing the rules in the state primaries process to try to get Donald Trump to say he'll endorse Chris Christie or whoever were to get the nomination if it's not him. And these are sneaky, sleazy, slimy people.
I think he'll sign it.
You think he will?
Yep, because he'll say, "Who cares? I'm going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter." I think he'll sign it because he'll just throw it back in their face. Fine, I'll do it, but you're not going to win anyway, so it's not going to matter. So play your little reindeer games.
Yeah. Well,
really?
This is an interesting thing because maybe you're right. They pulled this once before in 2016 with the Republican Party platform.
That's right.
But the difference between this and that is he agreed with everything on the party platform.
Right.
He doesn't agree with endorsing DeSantis.
I think he'll just say no problem and he'll deflate that attempt immediately.
So will Chris Christie and Pence and DeSantis and all these snakes, will they sign a pledge to endorse Trump if he wins the nomination?
Just a pathetic little attempt.
Do you think they'll do that?
Yeah, and I think voters will see right through this. It's a desperate move.
It is desperate.
And there's going to be more to come. I wanted to ask you if you're concerned about this guy that pled not guilty in the classified document. He's facing up to 90 years.
Yeah.
And then I read they have that the Justice Department has video. I guess they got a hold of video from Mar-a-Lago. And they have video from, it was like the South Liquor video, I guess, where they...
The South Liquor video.
That's what it was called, some with alcohol or liquor. I guess is where they unload alcohol to Mar-a-Lago. They have video of this guy, they say, moving boxes. Well, who's to say what the boxes are?
Exactly. What does that mean?
They don't know what's in those boxes.
Exactly.
But I think what they're going to do is... And the reason I feel they arrested this guy is he could have been moving boxes, but who knows? Those boxes could have had anything in them. Trump did just move from Washington to Florida, so he had stuff packed up, souvenirs, things like that, or mementos. But I feel they're going to really try to scare this guy to turn on Trump, and I feel that's why they arrested him.
That's what they do. Yeah,
they arrested him so they can get him to turn. And they're going to get him alone, and they're going to say, look, all you got to do is this, this, and this, testify. They do this all the time. When you watch ID channel or things, when you have people, and I'm not saying he's an accomplice to anything, but there's people all the time that will write a statement saying this guy did it, and in turn they get a reduced prison sentence or they get to go free and the other guy does all the jail time. That's a tactic by the police that they use all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel he's their fail-safe. And it's concerning me very much.
Well, see, the reason that he just pled not guilty now,
right.
he was they brought him into a reign with Trump in Miami. He didn't have a lawyer,
right.
and it's taken him a long time to find an attorney. And I don't think that's by accident. You know, they've harassed so many attorneys for
do you
Trump.
Think he's going to get scared and help them?
It's possible. They did this to that guy that worked for the Trump organization in New York, that old man. They sent him to Rikers Island. Yes, it's very possible.
He went to Rikers Island?
Yeah, that old man.
So what did he say about Trump?
It was minor stuff about.
Why did he go to Rikers?
Not reporting business expenses on his taxes or something. They said
that was on him.
It was. They've never prosecuted people for such things before. It was a selective prosecution.
Oh my goodness.
But it is very possible that this guy. I mean, you got to understand, these people are facing. So the rest of their lives in jail and people break and crack. It's a form of torture.
Weak.
It's psychological torture.
So you work for Trump and he tells you, I got some boxes in this one room. Would you mind moving them from room A to B? That's a crime. You don't know what's in those boxes.
Shoes
and it's probably
shirts,
nothing.
News articles.
So if you have a boss and they ask you to move boxes, you don't even think anything of it.
Yeah.
But it happens to be on one of the video cameras, so they're going to This is so weak. I mean, but I'm afraid this guy's going to get scared.
Yeah.
And say something or write down, say something to get out of going to jail. That's what makes me nervous.
Yes, that's what they do. It's psychological torture. Now, this thing with DeSantis and the Republican Party here in Florida, this is a frightening thing because between DeSantis and the Bush family, they have. I understand that with the rank and file, because Trump's in Florida, President Trump's the big influence in the Republican Party here in Florida, obviously. Right. But the party infrastructure is controlled by Bush people. And that's how this happened. And so you're going to find in other places around the country, there's a lot of high-level people that have loyalty to the Bushes. Oh, yeah. That's why I never trust Ted Cruz.
Do you think Marco Rubio does?
I don't know. But
known him a long time.
Ted Cruz is he came up through the Bush family in Texas and the connection with his father and H.W. Bush and everything I've talked about many times. I don't want to get sidetracked now. But you got to watch a lot of these people. And the Bush family have been around in the Republican Party forever.
And so is Ted Cruz. And these guys have been in Washington forever. That's why they don't know each other.
Well, no. Ted Cruz came up through the Bush family, through his connection, through his dad and Bush the father.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is most of the people
Governor
in
Bush in
Washington,
Texas.
Most of these senators have been there a lot longer than Trump. So their roots go deep with these people.
Oh, yes. The Bush.
We saw that party with the Bidens and Bill Nelson was there. So even when these people are out of office, they're still in the fold.
Oh, yeah.
They're still very heavily involved in things behind the scenes and still have some kind of influence and still are friends with these people.
So what you can see what's going on here is President Trump has a lot that he's going up to against that we don't understand really. I mean, this guy with the legal problem, the Bush family control over the Florida Republican Party. There's a lot of things that are going on that are troublesome. And what Trump is going up against is tough. And, being loyal to Trump right now for everyone is so important. Don't let anyone do what they've done to McEnany. It's really bad. I mean, look, even Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor of Arkansas now, she's the governor of Arkansas because of Trump.
Yep.
Okay, not her dad.
That's for sure.
Because of Trump. Her dad helped, but it was mainly Trump. And she was on an interview as Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and they asked her if she would endorse Trump, and she would not do it. She would not do it. So, I mean, and now we've got both of his White House press spokespeople going against him. We got DeSantis going against him. Some of the people that are in the inside circle that were very tight with Trump have betrayed him.
And he said, because he was being interviewed, asked him why that happens. And they were kind of insinuating that he's just so evil that they all, when they get out of his fold, they see the light. And he said, no, they're offered a lot of money. He said they get out of my administration and people offer them a lot of money And
that's right.
And to take that money, they have to throw me under the bus.
That's exactly right.
Money is a very, very powerful motivator.
When he talked about that, Trump was referencing that girl on The View that used to work for him.
Fair, that's right. That's exactly right.
But that's what's happened to McEnany. That's what's happened to DeSantis. That's what's happened to Sarah. Sarah Huckabee, she's the governor now. Arkansas is a tiny little state. She might want to be the senator from Arkansas for life. She might want to run for vice president one day. Yeah. A lot of these people are young. They're in their 30s, they're in their 40s, and they figure they have 20, 30, 40 more years in Washington, and presidents come and go, and Trump only has one term left,
exactly.
and so they betray him because, I was watching a guy who is a comedian. I don't know his name, but he's one of those guys. He's one of those B-level celebrities. You recognize the guy, but you don't know his name, and he's a comedian. And I was watching him on an interview on YouTube the other day. I wish I could remember his name, but anyway, he was talking about this Hollywood party that he was at, and there were 3 A-list actors, superstars, A-list male actors who were into these young guys at this Hollywood party. And he wouldn't say their names, unfortunately. I'm dying to know.
Yeah, they never tell you.
And he was there with another comedian who are at the same level. They were talking about this. And he says, this is what they do to these people in Washington against Trump, okay?
Yes.
He said what happens is, he says, once you're there, he says, even if you're a low-level Hollywood person like we are, he says they're always dangling a carrot in front of you.
Right.
A comedy special, a comedy tour.
It's a way to manipulate
a guest spot on a TV show, a supporting role in a movie. They're always dangling these carrots that keep you quiet. And if you talk about these 3 guys at the party, there's no more carrots.
Well, yeah, because then when you're an actor and say you're on a show and it's a huge hit and you're in your 20s and then the show ends and you can't get work, there's always that hope that something will come along. And you've seen this. I've seen actors that haven't acted since the 80s that are having a resurgence now, and they have careers. So they don't want to turn on Hollywood because they're always hoping that their career will come back, and they want to get back into the club and back into the fold. And that's how it happens in Washington.
That's what's going on with Huckabee and McEnany and all these other people. Well, Trump only has one more term left because of the term limits, and then you're stuck with us forever. So what are you going to do? And they drop Trump. Now, I want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support. And if you would like to support the program by becoming a patron, there's a link to our Patreon page in every episode description. There's a link on my website, briancraigshow.com as well. And remember, all Patreon supporters get access to commercial-free editions of all of our podcast episodes. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Mike P, Rome, Wisconsin, Macho, Wesley, Nick, Rick, Carlos, Paulette, John, David, Richard, Melissa, and Arctic Fox. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Robert Allen Miltenberg invites you to time travel with him to the Roman future. His new novella, available at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. It's the golden age of Rome, a time of peace and prosperity. And Scadius Commodius Lavatorius is its greatest scientist. But for all he's achieved, one question haunts him. Will Rome survive the test of time? There's only one way to find out. Come along on this cosmic romp of an adventure. See if you can read the signs any better than a brilliant scientist can. Prediction, science fiction, allegory, national glory. This is a satire at its most gladiatorial. Center stage in the Circus Maximus of your mind. A story of time machines and timeless politics, strange Roman cuisine and gambling parlor tricks, spinning gold and crossing the river Styx. That's the Roman future. Available on Kindle and paperback. Go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble now and visit The Roman Future by Robert Allen Miltenberg today. Are you looking for a reliable taxi service in New York City? Look no further. Syru Taxi has you covered. Online at SyruTaxi.com. That's SYRU. Syru Taxi operates in the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. And if you're a driver looking for a flexible and rewarding career opportunity, drive with Syru Taxi and take control of your schedule. You can drive when you want and make what you need. Whether you need an SUV, sedan, or any convenient cab type, you can book your immediate ride right from your doorstep. Enjoy the luxury of their rides without breaking the bank. You can also download the Syru Taxi app, available in the Apple app and Google Play Store. So whether you're a passenger looking for a reliable ride or a driver seeking a fulfilling career, Syru Taxi is here for you. Visit SyruTaxi.com. That's SYRU, or download the app right now. Syru Taxi, your go-to taxi service in New York City. Are you in search of a powerful all-in-one multivitamin? Double X from wellnessdistributions.com is the ultimate solution for your nutritional needs. Double X combines 22 vital vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to support your heart, brain, eyes, skin, bones, energy levels, immune system, and cellular health. What sets Double X apart is its unique formulation, harnessing the power of natural plant-based ingredients from the entire psychonutrient spectrum. This comprehensive blend provides robust antioxidant defense against free radicals generated by environmental stressors. With 22 essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, Double X is here to support your overall well-being. From your heart to your brain, from your eyes to your skin, Double X has you covered. With over 80 years of supplement development, you can trust wellnessdistributions.com. They have a comprehensive range of products that are tailored to different life stages and diverse nutritional requirements. They understand that every individual is unique, and their products reflect that understanding. Your path to wellness starts here. Go to wellnessdistributions.com and take advantage of their free nutritional health assessment. wellnessdistributions.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You know, the MAGA movement, we've had a lot of victories in ways that some of you are very well aware of, like Bud Light. And you know, I'm not into boycotting places like liberals are, but there's been some stands we've had to take, right? And this stand against Bud Light has been a rough one for a lot of people. I saw a story today about a bottling plant closing down somewhere. That's awful, but you know, Bud Light. But listen to this.
They had to lay off 600 people, which is not good.
So no, it's not good. It's 600 families. That could be thousands. That could be a few thousand people. You know, depending. You have kids and wives.
That's why boycotts bother me.
Yeah, but
you know, I don't like to see that happening.
But the MAGA boycotting of things has had such great impact.
Yeah,
and that it's becoming a thing. And Fox News doesn't seem to care that they are no longer number one in cable. But listen to this. This is really an amazing story, and it's about Disney and everything that's been going on with these woke companies. Listen to this, and a lot of this story here, it has happened with very little fanfare because the media don't want to report this. Okay, but listen to this. At the end of June, it was revealed that the Walt Disney Company's chief diversity officer, Latondra Newton, was no longer with the company. Now, There's more. Now, this is a big deal. Do you know how difficult it is to fire a black woman from a major corporation in America? It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy. And especially when they're the chief diversity officer. And she's obviously been let go because of the destruction that they have brought to the Walt Disney Company. And I know a lot of you don't like this. You're not in Florida. You know, Kathy is born and raised in Florida. I've lived in Florida since I was a little kid, and I've been coming to Florida since I was 5 years old. And Walt Disney World is a big part of Florida. It's as equally a part of Florida as the Florida beaches. And Walt Disney was a very anti-union Republican. One of the reasons he brought Walt Disney World to – there were other places that wanted him to build Walt Disney World. One of the reasons – that he came to Florida for Walt Disney World was, and people don't know this, they don't think about it too much, but I know about it. One of the reasons he came to Florida and built Walt Disney World is because it's a right-to-work state, no unions, okay? And we had a Republican governor at the time, very business friendly, and gave him a lot, and he was a lifelong Republican, Walt Disney, and that's saying something because he came through that whole Franklin Roosevelt period and everything. And for him to be a strong anti-union Republican is amazing. And if you go online, just to show this to you, okay, when Walt Disney was alive, he was very active in events at Disneyland in California. Go back to the opening of Disneyland in California. And there were 2 Republican presidents there, okay? Ronald Reagan, who was not yet in politics, but he was a Republican. Walt Disney himself had Ronald Reagan go to Disneyland for their opening and did a whole thing with him co-hosting the TV special of the opening of Disneyland. And he also had a very high-profile incident or event with Richard Nixon when he was vice president to Eisenhower at Disneyland. And, so very Republican guy. So Walt Disney himself would be disgusted at what these liberal wokesters have done to his conservative company. But anyway, let me get back to this because this is happening because of MAGA standing up. So let me get back to this because there's more. At the end of June, it was revealed that the Walt Disney Company's chief diversity officer, Latondra Newton, was no longer with the company. And I got to tell you, firing a black woman ain't easy. That's a big deal. Now, Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Netflix have also seen their diversity heads leave the companies as well. Variety announced, this is amazing.
That is.
Yeah. Variety announced Newton had left the Walt Disney Company after they obtained an internal company memo on June 20th from the company's HR chief. Coleman wrote in the memo, "I'm writing to share the news that Latondra Newton, their diversity leader, has decided to leave the Walt Disney Company to pursue other endeavors. She joined the company in 2017, and she was in charge of Disney's strategic diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, including partnering with groups to amplify stories that have been controversial, like these gay characters and such."
And the new Proud Family show, which I have not seen on Disney Plus. Apparently, there's some stuff on there that's a little.
So Disney, you got to give Disney a little credit here. They fired this woman that brought all this woke diversity stuff that's caused such a stir, including that Zoom meeting last year that drove everyone nuts, rightly so. The Wrap reported that Netflix's head of inclusion strategy, Verna Myers, was stepping down from her position in September from Netflix. So they fired her. She's in charge of their inclusion strategy. Okay,
it seems like the backlash to woke has begun, and really what it's about it's the boycotting, and they're cranking out crap content. They're losing subscribers. Disney Plus is just really not done well because they're putting out crap movies.
And this woke stuff has turned people off.
Yes.
Also, the LA Times has reported that Warner Brothers Discovery fired their diversity leader, Karen Horn, who was the company's vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion in North America. So this thing of these diversity people have been running these companies into the ground. They're being purged.
Well, I think the Dylan Mulvaney debacle has been the catalyst for this.
Yes.
I think that boycott has been so successful that has filtered into other things, and it's
amazing.
And now it's these companies are afraid of they haven't been doing very well. Like I said, Disney Plus is just really has lost so many subscribers because they're putting out so much woke and politically correct content, including non-binary characters that aren't even humans. It's absurd what they're doing, and people don't like the way that they're sending messages to children. And I can understand that with all this stuff, this trans stuff.
This is so these are big victories. Where
the backlash has begun.
This culture war against wokeism is winning, and it's winning because I think the MAGA viewpoint is the majority viewpoint of people in America. It doesn't seem that way because these liberal wackadoodles are overrepresented in media of all kinds, movies, TVs, and the news. So they seem like they're more mainstream than they are.
They've gone too radical.
These wokesters are a tiny, tiny minority in this country. Now, listen to this.
Well, I wouldn't assume it's all MAGA. I would also.
Well, no, Kathy, the MAGA movement is what led the Bud Light
I understand that, but
boycott, and what you said is true. The Bud Light is what began these dominoes.
No, I understand that, but I think there's also people that are more middle of the road, or maybe people that aren't necessarily fans of Trump that think it's ridiculous too. That's how far they've taken it, that it's starting to filter beyond MAGA. It's starting to spill over into even people on the left, people that are Democrats might be like, this is even too much for me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I think it's spilling. I think it's definitely MAGA, but I think it can also be spilling over into other groups of people that have children and people that are like, I know Disney parks because I have friends that go there all the time and stuff and tell me, and I see videos, the attendance is way down for the summer. Like it's record lows. And that is all part of this. That's all part of this agenda they've latched onto. And I see now they're trying to reverse it. So they need to put out some good movies, good content, and stop worrying about pushing an agenda and just stick to good storytelling. And I think they can get people to come back and get excited about the parks again.
Now, there's not a lot on this, but just a blurb I read this morning, and I just want to mention this because it is important. It's been found that TikTok has allowed advertisements on their platform put in place by the Mexican drug cartels advertising for human smugglers.
Oh my goodness.
And I've been telling you guys for quite some time that China has partnered with the drug cartels in Mexico with this whole border thing of these people, of the human smuggling operations, which is also a fentanyl smuggling operation. And TikTok is China. And this is more evidence of the partnership between China and the drug cartels at the southern border. And it's amazing. These people in media, I don't know what they put on the air. There's so much going on that they don't report. All these stories, that we're talking about here are massive stories, and none of them are reporting. Now, I want to talk to you guys.
Because they're not allowed to report it. They're being told what they can and can't talk about.
Yeah, I want to talk to you guys about the mighty MAGA lion. Okay, guys? I want to give you a little backstory on this because we've been promoting the mighty MAGA lion, our Trump lion. This is our own creation. Kathy and I partnered up with Dee, who's one of the moderators in my YouTube chat, and she's also one of our Patreon supporters. And Kathy and I were talking. We wanted to create something, like this. Kathy had an idea for another animal, which I don't want to mention because we may end up doing that too down the road. But I said, you know what? Why don't we do a lion for Trump?
Yeah,
because Trump's a lion.
Right.
And so I came up with this idea of developing a lion stuffed animal for, with a MAGA hat. And Kathy, you came up with D for the name Mighty MAGA Lion.
D and I came up with that.
Yeah, I came up with the lion idea with the MAGA hat. You and D came up with the name Mighty MAGA Lion, which I think is very good. And D actually has the connections and contacts to get this made. So
that's her business, and she helped design it and create a face, which is adorable.
Yeah,
because all I said to her was, because she said, how do you want the face to look? I said, I want him to look fierce but cute at the same time. And the face, when she sent me the prototype, is absolutely perfect. And I said, that is the most perfect animal. It is the cutest thing in the world. And he has a MAGA hat. It's got 45 on the side, MAGA on the front. And he's the perfect size. He's 10 inches. He's absolutely adorable. Very well made, high quality.
Looks like Trump.
I'm telling you, it is the cutest thing. We've sold quite a bit. And you could do pre-orders now. They're going to get shipped in the fall. So if you do a pre-order, you'll definitely get it by Christmas. If you wait till they come in, because they had to be manufactured. If you wait till the fall to order, that's fine. But I can't guarantee you'll get them by Christmas time. I'll try, because Brian and I are actually going to ship them ourselves from our house.
Yeah, from our garage.
And, my mom's going to help. But so we get this huge shipment in. This is just a new venture, and we have had quite a few orders. We're very excited. It is the cutest thing in the world. I love when I saw it. I just fell in love. You will fall in love with this line. It's adorable.
So Kathy and I partnered up with Dee, and if you go to the website mightymagalion.com, you can order yours there. It's mightymagalion.com. This is a venture that Kathy and I are doing with Dee. The Mighty MAGA Lion is exclusive through us because we created it.
Yeah.
We came up with the concept. We got it made with Dee. And this is an exclusive item to us. It is really a collector's item.
Yes.
And it's
There's only a limited number right now.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. And if you go to mightymagalion.com, you can order yours. I've been showing them on some of my live streams and everything. And if you watch me on YouTube, you've probably seen it. And it's a great lion, a great stuffed animal. I love the MAGA hat. And you and Dee had the idea. I didn't think about this of putting the 45 on the side, like President Trump's hat. And a few times, if you watch me on the live stream, I'll show everybody on camera the mighty MAGA lion. And I don't even realize it, but I'm holding the lion in my arm, kind of cuddling it like for the rest of the stream.
It's adorable.
It's pretty awesome.
It's very cuddly, and I think it's such a great gift. And I just imagine buying it and putting it under the Christmas tree and having it right there on Christmas morning. If you have kids or teenagers or college kids or your spouse that love Trump, I think it is such. Imagine them coming out Christmas morning and seeing the line. If you have little kids, but it's good for any age. It really is. Anybody in your family that loves Trump. Or yourself, but you can get 2 or 3, and it makes it such an adorable little gift to give somebody.
So we had to pre-order all these in advance with Dee, and I've been
it's a leap of faith.
I've been this is like a big business venture investment for us to order all these mighty MAGA lions in advance before having sold any. We had to order them, and they're on. And I've been reorganizing the garage. I'll finish up this weekend. And I hope we'll have enough room in the garage. If not, they're going to be in the living room, in the bedroom, in the studio.
We're going to get
our whole house are going to be mighty MAGA lions. Yeah. But if you order now, yours will be the first.
That's right.
Because
we're already making those
out.
Labels, and they're going to be as soon as we get them, they're going to be put in the boxes, packed up. The label will be put on. Shipped out that first week. Yeah,
I'm kind of excited about it because it's such a cool thing.
It's so cute.
And obviously, I have my Trumpy bear and the idea of doing a stuffed animal, original. Well, I love my Trumpy bear so much, but I like the mighty MAGA lion better, not just because it's ours. That's part of it. But I have the Trumpy bear. This is more cuddly.
I agree. It's easier to carry around. Trumpy bear is awesome, but he's huge. He's really big. And the mighty MAGA lion, I think, is the perfect size. It's just adorable. And I just fell in love with him when I saw him. It's
That's
really
right.
The cutest thing in the world.
So go to Mighty MAGA Lion and order yours or order two of them.
You'll love them.
A lot of people have been ordering multiple Mighty MAGA Lions.
It's so cute.
So it's mightymagalion.com. Well, guys, listen, a lot is going on, and I just want to say this before we close. I know a lot of you have noticed, maybe you haven't noticed, but I've been doing a lot of YouTube live streaming from my home studio, and I'm going to continue to do that. So if you do not already, please follow me on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube, and click the notification bell. This is very important what we're doing here. I don't mean just me, I'm important, or Kathy is important. Of course we're important. You guys are important too. What I'm talking about is the MAGA movement. The theme of this show, really, sadly, of this podcast episode are these traitors against Trump. McEnany, that's a big blow. That's a big blow to me. That really hurts. That hurts more than DeSantis because
disappointing.
And Trump only has us. All these people like McEnany, they abandon him with just a few shekels, right? And all he has is us. And MAGA Strong and MAGA United and MAGA Forever is so important for us all to stick together in the MAGA movement to support our president.
Well, I have real quick. Because we were talking about boycotts, the company that owns Ben & Jerry's, their stock has lost $2.5 billion because of what they tweeted on the 4th of July.
This week? It take that much
Ben
this
& Jerry's parent company has lost $2.5 billion in market cap amid calls to boycott the ice cream maker over a July 4th tweet. Wow.
That quick?
Real quick, I haven't seen anything like this before. This, the power of the mighty dollar. And like I've said, I'm uncomfortable with boycotts because I don't like to see people lose their jobs. No. But at the same time, I think it is sending a clear message, obviously, with you talking about Netflix and Disney Plus to these companies. This wokeness has gotten out of control.
Yeah.
And there comes a time when you have to take a stand. So I was always against boycotts, but now I'm kind of changing my mind. I don't like to see people lose their jobs. But at the same time, you want to let these companies know that this has to stop. This embracement of this anti-American, all this radical thinking on the left, there has got to stop. You know what I mean? We have to do something about it. They've taken it too far.
We were talking about Ben & Jerry's yesterday, and I was talking about this is a British-owned company, so how convenient of the Redcoats wanting us to give America back since they lost it.
But Ben & Jerry are the ones that made the tweet.
Yeah, but Ben & Jerry's, I haven't eaten Ben & Jerry's in years.
They have good ice cream.
And the best ice cream I've ever eaten in my life is the Ben & Jerry's oatmeal.
It's so good.
And I don't even know if they make that anymore. And
we used to have a Ben & Jerry's right by our house.
We had a regular Ben & Jerry's ice cream parlor.
We go there all the time.
But they sell it at the grocery stores.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten it in years. And I'll tell you,
the oatmeal was good.
They've gotten too woke. What really turned me off and really and I can overlook things sometimes, but when Ben & Jerry's did that Kaepernick ice cream,
oh yes,
that was just too much.
I think
too much.
I think tweeting an anti-American tweet on July 4th on America's birthday, I think just really was crossing the line.
That's like an atheist tweet on Christmas.
Crossing the line.
Christmas or Easter, it's like putting out atheist tweets.
Just stupid, self-serving, self-important thing to do. And wow, and I'm sure the company who owns them is not happy. I mean, their stock went down. And as we've seen, these boycotts are not just lasting a week and then they go back. These are long-lasting, permanent damage being done to these brands. And I think you are now witnessing the beginning of the backlash of the woke movement.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's starting to finally happen, and it's all because of these boycotts.
That's right. Well, listen, we're all out of time. We'll be back next time. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Talk to you next time.
Are you ready to unlock the secrets of a healthier, more vibrant life? Look no further than lifewave.com/revive39. There, you will find a groundbreaking health technology company that's dedicated to honoring the light of life and harnessing the body's natural energy to reverse aging and maximize human potential. Their mission is simple: to empower you to live in the light, maximize your human potential with transformative health technology that enhances and extends lives. And now, they're inviting you to become a part of an incredible journey as a brand partner. As a brand partner, not only will you market the most innovative products, but also you'll be part of a modernized compensation plan. Their uplifting community of like-minded entrepreneurs from all around the world will surround you like a family, supporting your success every step of the way. Imagine being part of a purposeful community where heart-to-heart connections and shared passion for wellness create a powerful synergy. Go right now to lifewave.com/revive39. That's lifewave.com/revive39 to learn more and start building your own business. Lifewave.com/revive39. Your path to a brighter future begins now. Lifewave.com/revive39. Lifewave.com/revive39.